China has reported a big jump in COVID hospitalizations. This is what the World Health Organization is saying. Now, remember, a short while ago, when the World Health Organization had pulled up China for underreporting COVID data, China had then come out to report that nearly 60,000 COVID-related deaths had taken place since December 8th. Now, that was last week. We are going to be crossing over to CNN News 18's Foreign Affairs correspondent Abhishek Jha to get us more details. Abhishek, the WHO is saying that China is reporting a big jump in COVID hospitalizations. It's interesting because when they had come out to clarify and give out correct numbers and correct data about the deaths that were being seen, 60,000, they'd also said that the peak had passed. Now we're seeing that they're reporting a big jump in COVID hospitalizations. What do we know about this, and can you give us any numbers?
So, Aisha, the latest data that is emerging from China, the official data suggests that about 70% of cases have risen comparison to the previous week. That is 63,307 people. And still, these are the official figures. We know that there have been multiple reports suggesting that the ground reality is not something that official data are reflecting. There have been thousands and millions of infections happening in over the past several weeks, which China has not acknowledged in this official figure. WHO is also asking China to work on the latest number of death tolls that China has released recently, that 60,000 people were dead because of the COVID pandemic in the last 4 to 6 weeks, and WHO is trying to verify these data. But the kind of panic that is emerging from the Chinese resurgence of COVID is really alarming, and even the official figures are suggesting that 70% cases are rising over the last week. Then it's just the case that the World Health Regulator is seeing as a very alarming sign. And this is why they are asking China to share more data and more clarity on what is the real and ground situation is in China.
Absolutely. Abhishek, I do have a few follow-up questions for you. To not take any action on the ground is one thing, and to not be reporting the correct data as well is also another thing. What exactly is China seeking to do on the ground when it comes to dealing with COVID?
So Chinese strategy of keeping its population insulated from the worldwide pandemic was for 2-3 years. But the moment Chinese restrictions were lifted in a sudden in a period of a few days, then the pandemic actually spread like a wildfire across China. We've also seen these were the weeks of travel and celebration and holidays. So people also carried probably with them the virus from one part of the country to other part of the country. That helped Omicron variant, which is now prevalent in China and which is also believed to be very, infectious in terms of it spreading fast. So that Omicron variant now is spreading across China. That has given rise to this alarming number of infections happening every week. Now China is also accepting that. So probably China couldn't do much because this virus had to infect everybody. Probably then only the herd immunity that most part of the world have now achieved in terms of population. Chinese population will have to undergo a lot of these infection cycles, and then probably that immunity will be there, and that could deal with the future wave of infection. And now this is the first major wave of infection that Chinese population are dealing with, and the administration of Chinese health authorities, they are trying to keep in control the severely number of people who are severely ill, and they are trying to provide them medical assistance. We know that there have been multiple, videos surfacing which says that health authorities or the health infrastructure in China is actually crumbling down under the pressure of a high number of incoming patients in their ICU and multiple, specialist units. But this is the scenario currently China is trying to not give the real data or real picture to the world, but there are multiple sources of social media which are telling the real and ugly truth of pandemic in China.
Yes, Abhishek, thank you so much for joining us and for bringing us that update.